No.
Oh, it's got the wrong name on our stream. Is it streaming though? Probably. Oh, it is starting to stream. Okay,
Awesome.
but we got to edit the title. We're going to call it Election Night.
There you go.
Woohoo! We are on that. The question is, can I record at the same time? Save.
That's the big question.
So I think it's going. It says we are live. So that looks all good. I'm hoping it's all good. That looks good. And I'm going to start recording as well. We'll see if it works, okay? Are you frozen there?
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready to go now?
I'm ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Dun 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 dun. Kilted Balls! Woo! We are back, baby. Back for another episode of the Kilted Balls podcast. Hopefully you guys have been having a wonderful night. To celebrate today, I'm drinking some Firework Faygo. America,
Nice.
baby. America.
That is awesome.
I actually just spilled it all over myself because I was like, is this clear? Is this red? And I'm like trying to look inside, and I dump it all over me.
I have my Goodwill Renaissance Festival cup full of fizzy water.
Love that. Love that. And listeners,
It's not really full.
we are also streaming this live. So we haven't streamed live for a long time, but we thought,
We may have to start doing that again.
yeah, well, and we can do it on Twitch and we can do it on YouTube. I just thought today we would do it on YouTube and see how it goes. So we are live, though. If you're not watching it live, you don't know that. So there's that.
Hey, Mom. I'm sure she's watching.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Mom. You know what? I will share the link on our X.
Oh, that's
Boop.
a great idea.
There
So
we
other
go.
people know.
There we go. I posted
That's
on
perfect.
X. I haven't been on X for a long time, it feels like. But I
Me
posted it
neither.
on the X. So we are on the X right now. Do. So.
But speaking of X, I listened to the beginning. I didn't listen to the whole thing. The Joe Rogan with Elon today that came out.
Oh, really? Was it any good?
It's usually good. I like Elon a lot. So, to the first part, almost like our show, it was like Elon was talking more politics than he normally does,
Yeah.
but it was also, I don't know if it was released late last night or this morning, but it came up on my information this morning. So yeah, as far as I got.
As far as you got, it was good.
Yep.
Okay, then. Well, that's always good. That's always good. So hopefully everybody made it out safely to the polls. Here in Michigan, our polls are closed. Our North Carolina's closed.
Yes, they just closed from what I had heard.
Okay.
So, yep, I have the TV on. I've been chilling here watching it, and it's like 1% of the votes in, and they're already I can't believe they already called West Virginia.
Well, you figure they're gonna call like Alaska today. I thought they were gonna call Alaska yesterday. So, a bunch of weirdos.
Some of the states they can tend to call a little early, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what's going on and how things change and all that other stuff. But it's like we talked about last week. They're all these stations are here to keep us like excited and to watch it like all night, and then like
All
in 3
night
days we'll have an idea what's going on.
Wasn't it last year? Wasn't it not till last year? 4 years ago. Didn't it take us until Saturday to like figure it out?
Yeah, possibly. I don't remember exactly. And actually, do you guys have paper ballots there, or did you have electric ballots there?
We are a paper ballot state. None of your
Okay.
fancy techno babble.
We were paper as well. I had to fill in my circles. I got sweaty, like I was taking my ACT again. I thought that maybe I'd mess up. Unlike my ACT, I remembered Pythagorean's theorem today. So,
Well, I'm glad you did. It's funny. I'm checking on our live stream to see if it works.
oh, awesome.
I'm sitting at the football game last week with actually a friend of ours who we interviewed, DJ Sins or DJ SNS, whatever he goes by.
Awesome.
So he's at a football game sitting behind me, and we were like chatting about the election and him voting. And he's like, "Yeah," he goes, "I did a straight ticket ballot, and then I went through and like voted for people." And I was like, "Wait, what do you mean?" He's like, "Oh, I did straight ticket, and then I went down and kind of bubbled stuff in." I'm like,
So his ballot's getting thrown away.
I'm pretty sure that means it's getting thrown away. He's like, "What? No!" Like he was kind of like upset, and I was like, I think that might be a spoiled ballot. But funny story, as I'm pulling out of my parking spot after I voted, he's walking out the door. And I'm like, "Funny seeing you here. I thought you already voted and screwed it up." And he's like, nope. He goes, "I came here to see if I had screwed it up." He goes, "Because you can like check on your ballots and see."
Okay.
And he goes, "And they, they assured me it was right and that I did it correctly and everything is good." And I was like, "Oh, good." He's like, "I was coming here to fix it." I'm like, I love it that people are vested in the election. I don't like it that they're vested in, because of how it is.
Yes.
But
yes.
But I do like it that they are, paying attention and vested. So.
I mean, we've been having fun and we've been talking about it on here. It's a little bit of a stray from what we normally do, but I'm glad as well. But I'm so ready for it to be over because you know what, like, our lives are gonna move on, and whatever happens, like we're still gonna spread love. We're still gonna spread kindness, and we go on with our lives. But it's almost like a little break for a lot of people, I imagine, just something different from the monotony. And I mean, that's not something I feel like is in my life. Like I feel my life is pretty exciting and there's always a lot going on, but not everybody is like that. A lot of people, like, they need some sort of distractions, and this is something that they can be vested in, and that's awesome that he was able to make sure that would not be tossed.
You know what I was, for sure. I was thinking today, and I kind of I don't feel bad because I think I felt bad like in the past, and you know me, I don't have a lot of regrets, but I was laughing to myself that a long time ago, 2016, so we're talking 8 years ago, feels like forever ago, I remember telling people that I really hoped Trump won the primary because it would make for like the funniest presidential race ever, because he was such a goofball, right? And such a numbnut, and I thought it would be hilarious. I decided, I think at the last minute, to not vote for him in the primary, mainly because John Kasich, I thought, was like such a better candidate than everybody who was running, honestly. But he didn't win the primary because Trump was so polarizing even then that he did.
Yeah.
But he won it, and I was like, I'm not sad because this is going to be the funniest election ever. Then it turned out not being funny at all. Ooh, on the AP map, Michigan just kind of flashed blue.
Did it? Okay.
And that's kind of.
What am I looking at right now?
I just picked a website, right? So people, I picked the AP website, and and it has the things like, oh, Trump wins South Carolina, Trump wins Florida. Yeah, no shit, right?
Yeah, already.
Yeah. Harris wins Rhode Island. Harris wins Massachusetts. Harris wins Connecticut. Yeah, no, like you could have called these last week. Yeah. You're really going out on a limb, AP. Really going out on a limb.
So I didn't think AP had a channel that I could watch. I was hoping there'd be an app on the TV.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I was talking to my friend John, and he says he pays attention because, like, the news people get their stuff from AP anyways. So that's kind of
That's kind of
because I was like, my question was, can like ABC really stretch it out, or is there someone else giving more information?
right.
To where you might possibly have more information. He thought that AP maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But he thought that was they do tend to sway one way or another occasionally, but it's not like always one way or always another, and they try to be kind of in that middle.
Man, Florida, do they have electronic ballots in Florida?
I'm not sure. Do they?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. AP says 87% of Florida is already counted.
Oh wow.
Right? That's a ton.
Yeah.
And actually, Harris did way better than I thought she would in Florida. Maybe Florida's not as red as I thought it was, I guess.
Okay. See, I just clicked on it too, but I haven't clicked on any of these maps or anything to see what's going on.
Yeah. It's funny, they've called Alabama. Oh, it just refreshed. Alabama says, called for Donald Trump. They have so far reported less than 300 votes.
Yeah.
Trump wins! We just started counting. If you're wondering how much that is, that's 0% of the votes counted.
Yep. That does happen. That does happen.
It's so funny, right?
That's so funny. Although Texas is showing red right now, but Texas might be one of those that's up for grab.
Texas was just blue. Seriously, when we first got on, it was blue. And it just flipped to red as you and I were talking. So, yeah, hopefully people, when you tuned in tonight, you're like, man, I hope they kind of talk about the election on election night, because apparently that's what we're doing. That's what we're talking about.
Well, let me think. We did, what was this week? So things have kind of been funky for me because everybody has been sick like one way or another. And even like just the last month has just kind of been a haze. Like, what is going on? But this weekend was awesome. We got a ton of stuff cleaned up. I was moving sheet boxes, just like consolidating a little bit and opening up some stuff. Wait till you see it here the next time you come here. Like the back looks completely different. But that means moving like hundreds of boxes because my walkie stacker's broken. So like I'm climbing a ladder, grabbing the box, climb down, put it where it goes, go back up. But it was awesome. We got a lot done, and yeah, we added a dry sauna into the workout room, which I'm super, super excited about.
So is that like infrared? Is that what it means?
It's infrared.
And it's nice. You like it.
Yeah, I've only been in it once. I was going to get in it last night, but Gina fell asleep, so I did not do that.
Is it similar to sitting in your car in the summer?
Slightly, but you don't get infrared in your car. Don't think, do you? Oh, okay.
Pretty sure.
Maybe then.
Pretty confident. Yep.
Yes, then.
Yes. So it's a lot like that. Awesome.
Only costs less than a car.
Costs less than a car. That is for sure true. For sure true. Costs less than a car.
And it would work, and it works right now. Like if I tried to sit in the car earlier today, I froze. It was only like 70 out.
I was gonna say it was 72 here. It was like super warm. So
yeah,
that was crazy.
So yeah, that's been pretty awesome. And then there was something else I was gonna say. I don't remember what it was.
Sounds like a lie.
Must have been a lie.
Must have been.
Yep. It was clearly.
Yeah. Our week was busy. Like we had a lot of state championships this weekend. So again, always fun. I'm always amazed. We went to marching band state competition. Oh my gosh! I'm so dumb. I had a huge story for our listeners that is not election based. Oh my gosh. Totally my bad. So, when marching bands perform, there's I put them into like 3 categories of performers. Okay? So there's a category of performers where they're trying to tell you a message or tell you a story. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
You've got
I have something later when you're done with this.
You've got a groups that will do like, we're just here to have a good time. We're just playing, we're marching, we're like rocking and rolling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like more like either traditional or more in your face with what they're doing kind of business. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I like all of them. This weekend, DeWitt took second, so that's our place. They were runners up, and both of the top bands were amazing. They were both really, really good, but one of them was like different. You know, it was a little bit more flowery, more like colorful, and the other one was more like in your face, right? Like, and just like speed and power. You get what I mean?
Yes, and I'm guessing that DeWitt was the speed and power.
Yeah, of
just
course.
based off of what I saw last year and in years past.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, go ahead.
And that's not the point of any of this. The point of this is there are always other bands who aren't as good, but they're telling a story or they're telling a message, right? And one of the bands that honestly almost like might have put me to sleep, their performance was called Burnt Toast Theory. So have you heard of Burnt Toast Theory? Okay. Mm-mm. You've heard of the idea because we've talked about it. But it's basically that sometimes when you're getting ready in the morning and you're making breakfast and you burn your toast, that it can be a really, really good thing. And it comes from, if I have my story straight, it comes from 9/11 when a lady burnt her toast, had to remake her breakfast, then she missed the bus, and you know all these things were going bad.
It's coming back to me.
And so she didn't get to the Twin Towers for work in time, and it saved her, right? If she had been on time, if she had caught the bus, she would have been up like in the top of one of the towers, and that would have been bad, right? So that's the theory. You with me?
Okay.
And which, you and I have talked about that before. Like, don't get mad when you're like running late or this or that's happening, because that could be meant to be, right? Like maybe there's a reason that's happening. So anyway,
yes.
The group we're watching is the late night. So we probably didn't get out of Ford Field until 11 or 12, right?
Okay.
Super late. And we like to go see the band right after, when they're changing out of their uniforms, when they're getting all of their medals, when the director's giving a rah-rah talk, right? We go give hugs, we give high fives, we say hello to everybody. It's just a cool thing. Well, there were multiple people who were like, it's too late, we're just going home, right? And we're like, listen, you should go, it's like a cool thing. And a whole bunch of people were like, all right, we're gonna go, this is gonna be cool and whatever. And then they go, and they're super happy at first, but then they're getting grumpy, and you can tell they're getting grumpy because now it's like 1 a.m. They're still not on the road. Where we live, like from Ford Field, you're talking an hour and a half easy. Yeah. And so, you're like, oh, crap, we're not getting home until 2 a.m. And, people start leaving, right? We are by, I think, Novi, maybe Brighton. So for people who are paying attention, about 45 minutes away.
Mm-hmm. You don't take the north route home when it's that late?
So we're on 96, and
Ford Field. Okay, yeah. I'm thinking the Palace.
Yeah, no, Ford Field, not the Palace. Palace, we would have taken the north route. So at M52, Consumers Energy decided to do wires over the top. You with me? So they're doing wires over the top. They've got traffic stopped. They finish it up. They open up the lanes. They're on the bridge over the highway, right? A semi doesn't realize everybody stopped.
Oh no.
Rushes into everybody. Huge ball of fire blows up. Takes out like 14 cars. Like
Wow.
the bridge is out of commission. Cars are flying over the bridge, right? It's like catastrophic. And all of those people missed it. They were all back where we were. We're getting all these messages, get off the highway. The highway's closed down. We jumped off at Fowlerville, right? Took 43 in. We get to 43 and 52. There's fire trucks blocking all of 52 right there, not letting people turn on. You can see the flames. It was like crazy. And all of these people are like, I'm so glad I stayed late. Like, I'm so glad. Because there are other bands, like other bands further west, where like one of them, their instrument trailer was in it. Their instrument trailer got destroyed.
Wow.
There was a family from like Mount Pleasant, which is north of us, who that family got caught in the accident. We donated to their GoFundMe today or yesterday, right? But like they got crushed, and we're like, man, if they had stayed, like those people who were like grumpy, or like for me, one of my daughters was ahead of us. She didn't stay, but she decided to stop at an exit to get McDonald's or Coney Island and got turned around and got lost. And so was on 43 and missed the whole thing. Right?
Wow.
We're like sometimes burnt toast is a good thing. Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes when things screw you up and you're way behind, sometimes that's not bad, right? Sometimes it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. So. And we talk about that all the time. Like, sometimes we're running late and then we're going, and it'll be like, oh, I wonder if that's why we're late, because there'll be like an accident or just something crazy going on. It's like, that's why we're running late.
Sometimes you don't know. Yeah, so it's really good. So you said you had a story to add to this.
Not to it, but something I remembered that I wanted to talk about as well. Yeah, I didn't want to. So you probably noticed I've added quite a few quotes.
I did not.
If you've looked or not.
No,
yeah, I've added quite a few. After you called me out, actually I added most of those.
I did see. Day. Yeah, I saw the ones you added the next day.
So I've added a few randoms here and there. But one of the next projects, because we're talking about projects that we want to do and using more, like I want to use more of my creativity. And I think that Gina and I are going to add more children's books, because I've talked about I have children's books in my mind. We started doing some research. We started looking at like AI drawings and stuff like that, things that you can do like that. She saw a video, so yeah, keep an eye out. I'll keep everyone updated, but it's something I was doing research on the computer all one day last week, like it was probably like 6-7 hours, and it flew by, and you know me and research.
Yeah.
So especially on the computer. But yeah, it was awesome. So it's super exciting.
I'm right there with you, because one of the reasons why I've never done a children's book, and my daughters and I have talked about this, I'm like, I don't mind writing the book. I need someone to like draw the book for me or clean it up for me. And now with AI, like, seriously, I used AI today, like on Facebook. I made a post about the 5th of November. Woo! Remember, the 5th of November. And I typed into Meta and said, give me a Guy Fawkes. And it's like, okay, here's 10 Guy Fawkes to add. I'm like, thanks. Right? And you saw me do that with, like, my D&D character. I was like, okay, I need a blue Dragonborn that has this and this. And the AI's like, okay, here's 20 things. I'm like, thanks. Like, I don't have to draw anymore. The AI will do it. And I am so sorry to my artistic and graphic designer friends, because, like, some of them are like, listen, it'll never replace us, which I think there's some truth to that.
I agree with that.
But I can do some graphic design stuff super fast on AI. And if you don't think it's going to catch up pretty damn fast, it's going to catch up.
The fat's going to get trimmed.
The fat's going to get trimmed, yes. Well, I think some people are going to need to if they want to stay ahead of the curve, they're going to need to embrace the AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
I agree with that. I was just gonna. Oh, go ahead.
I really worry about like our buddy Paul, right? Like I remember talking to him about his artwork. One of the pieces I bought, for sure, you bought one with the ravens, right? So I have the feathers right here, actually. But you bought the one with the raven, right? And I remember asking him, I'm like, how did you like create this? And he's like, oh, well, I go to, it wasn't Photoshop, I don't think, but something similar. And he's like, and I take the bird and I just copy it like 100 times. And then I change the size and I move it around and I do this, this, and this. And he goes, and sometimes I draw it from there. And sometimes it's just that digital art. And I'm like, that's amazing. And then I'm like, wait a second. Like, this is me thinking recently. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can describe that to the computer to do it.
Yeah, and I was just going to say that I think the people with talent are going to go even further because they have that extra knowledge of what to really ask for.
Yes.
Where we can get by, some of the pictures are funky, even some of the pictures in our book are a little funky, but it's just like, okay, like this is fun. We're taking we're doing just like we've taught on the show. We're going to take the steps. We'll probably release 5-6 books before it's like, okay, this is what we need to do. That's what we need to do.
Right.
Rather than making the first one perfect. Yeah.
Well, and it's kind of like, here's my thought, right? So there are some people, we have friends. I'm gonna call one of our friends like a graphic designer, right? But they have a talent for seeing how colors should relate, how colors should coordinate. They have vision of what it should look like. And like for me, I don't have that. So I can't ask the AI to do that. Right?
Yes.
But if you have that ability and you can ask the AI to do that, that can make it go even faster than you can go already. And then you just clean up what the AI does.
Because you can add so much stuff. Like, I want it like this, I want it like that, blah, blah, blah.
I forget what one I saw today. It's the second time I've seen it. But they give you a picture, and it's a contest. They give you an AI-drawn picture. You type in the prompt that would have made that picture.
Oh, that sounds fun.
And then they make whatever you prompted, and then whoever is closest to the original wins.
Where's that through?
God, I gotta look it up. I'm gonna have to look it up. People, I'll put it on our Twitter feed, people, but like what a fun party game, right? Like you all sit there and describe it on your phones.
Bye charades. Yep.
Bye what Pictionary. Right? Like, how fun would that be? And then you'd see all these funny pictures coming up. I don't know. It'd be good. And, like, it's funny because a few of my colleagues, like, some of them are jumping on the AI bandwagon. Some of them are, like, semi. And some of them are laughing because they're like, it's so bad. Like, you can always tell AI, it's not that good, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what are you looking at? And they're like, well, like, when people use ChatGPT to write a paper. I'm like, okay, but which one? And they're like, what do you mean which one? I'm like, are you using the free one? Because there's a reason it's free. Like, go drop money.
Yeah, if you pay a little more, then
I did research, quick and dirty, about a week or so ago on training AI, right? And there's
training AI?
Trading stocks.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, there's got to be some that do this. And like, there's people who are like, big businesses have been using this for, 10 years. They've got AI trained. I'm like, so smart. But you can get some of these AI tools to tell you when to buy, when not to buy. Some of them will even do it for you. There's not a lot of them that are free.
Yeah.
And some of them are like, oh, yeah, you can get this, but it's, $500 a month. And you're like, $500 a month? That's highway robbery. Unless it's making you $5 million a month. Like, it kind of depends on what you're doing. And so, like, for me, I'm like, I'm not dropping, like, even $100 a month to see
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
like you. We've talked about that before. Sometimes like yeah, I'm gonna test this out, but I'm like yeah, no, we're not testing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You all have your money. Enjoy your money. I'll just live my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just use my car as my dry sauna. I don't need all
There
that
you
fancy
go.
luxury like you have.
It's yeah, it's cool. It's cool for sure.
I bet. Ooh, Texas is still red on my map.
Yep. How many does it say? Does it say that
It just
39% of the
mine
votes
just
counted?
updated to 48%.
Oh, so mine just updated too. Mine's slower.
Yeah. The one that's
Interesting.
always funny to me is Florida. So Florida right now is at 91%. They've called it for Trump. This happened
Mm-hmm.
back in, I don't know, like 2000 or something. You probably remember. We were just talking about it. But they
Mm-hmm.
called Florida for the red, forgetting that you got to count Dade County.
Yeah. Well, I heard earlier they were talking about Dade County, which was surprisingly Trump this time.
Yeah,
But
yeah. But
I don't
back
know.
then it
Maybe
wasn't. And that's why it kept like flipping. They were like, we're calling Florida for Bush. Never mind, we're calling Florida for Dole. And they're
Yeah.
like, oops. But it's because they weren't counting Dade, and Dade at the time was a tremendous portion of the votes.
Okay, so if it's light blue, someone's in the lead. If it's red,
They've called
so
it.
like okay, Oklahoma is so big,
Yeah.
but Texas is still close for 48% of the votes. It's too close. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Still with, right, depending on where they've counted, right? If they haven't counted like Houston or Austin or whatever, you know. It's like Michigan. Like, have they counted the Grand Rapids area or have they counted the Detroit area?
Well, 5% of the votes are in, so
Yeah, so they've got a lot to still count. What about NC? NC is at 13% and pretty much a tie. Look at that.
yeah.
Woo.
But they've already called the governor. The governor, the Democrat one. I saw them call the governor earlier.
Really? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but the other guy running was the one who like well actually you guys probably didn't get the news. There was like a scandal. He's a black guy, and he is talking about being a black Nazi, I guess, when he was younger, and they tracked the stuff back to him, and he said he'd love to own slaves
What?
and this and that, just like crazy stuff. Yeah, so
Seriously, doesn't make any sense. That's like,
but
that's high
Yeah,
end
it
of
was
that
like-
shit crazy.
I think it said it was only like 2% of the votes, and they called it for the Democrat.
Yeah, sorry, you're out.
So, I don't know if that will. I'm sure that there are people who are either not going to vote the top of the ticket, or like. But I can't. I mean, I guess I can imagine. I was going to say I can't imagine someone not voting for Harris, but voting for the Democratic governor. But a lot of people are upset with Harris because there was never a primary; that she was just kind of appointed.
Yeah.
So I see that, and I can understand that.
Yeah, but I don't think that would like sway you. It's not like Michigan. Like Michigan, Dearborn, they're really worried Dearborn is going to go red because they're so mad about Palestine and Gaza,
Okay.
right? Because that's like the majority of the Muslim population in the U.S.
Yeah.
Right, and they're ticked about how
Yeah.
like that's real. Right? Like, hey, your administration's been effing it. There's huge billboards coming back from Ford Field. Trump means peace. Like all over that Dearborn area, trying to get them to go Trump. And so if you're like, yeah, Biden has screwed it up, which a lot of people think, and,
Yeah.
Harris is part of him, you can see them going, yeah, nope, we're going to
No.
give the other guy a chance to make peace there.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
that is the thing. That is
No.
the thing.
No, Molly Bean. She's trying to mess with my cords.
Oh, really? Poor
See her.
Molly Bean.
Molly Bean.
North
She-
Carolina just turned red, and Ohio just turned red. So they were both blue
Yeah.
a minute ago, and they both switched red. Of course, North Carolina, like I said, was so close. It's literally so they've got 800,000 votes cast, and the difference is less than 20 right now.
Yeah.
Your state is going to be like a hairline vote.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right?
But that's
is
what they're
crazy.
expecting anyways. A
Yeah.
lot of the swing states, they're thinking that it's going to be really close.
Yep. Now,
Although
for
Michigan,
like...
but Michigan's not really a swing state.
Michigan is considered a swing state.
It's considered a swing state. In Pennsylvania, it is not looking close either, but that's only 8% of the votes.
Yeah. Well, and again, it depends which parts they've counted.
Exactly.
Ohio is interesting because it just switched to red, but it must have been a huge place because 40,000 of the votes difference.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Y'all just see our pretty faces. We're looking at fun, cool maps. But I can't switch my live analysis to the cool maps.
Follow along apnews.com if you're watching on Twitch right now.
Actually, it's on YouTube. We are on YouTube.
YouTube
right
Live.
now.
Awesome.
Yeah, which is sweet. Here's a question. How is our friend doing? Do we know? Is there a way to look? Is she going for the house?
Was going to the... Yeah, I don't know. Live congressional races.
Yeah, I'm trying to find hers. Barrett is so far 7% of the votes, and Barrett's like smoking them. That was right. Is it Barrett going against Hertel? Okay, so that must not be our friend. Let's go here. In Michigan, Slotkin is dominating with 5% of the votes, which isn't very much. So that's not it. So it's House. Where's our friend in the House? I can't find our friend. Right. Oh, there she is. 0% of the votes counted.
Oh man!
Dang it!
Yes, there's other important things to count, isn't there?
Oh man, that's sad.
Oh, I lost my map. That's
so that kind of, if you look at that map, it tells you basically kind of where people have counted or not counted, right? Mm-hmm. So like if they haven't counted there, that means they haven't counted Kalamazoo. Like if our friends isn't on there.
Unless they're still actively counting Kalamazoo first.
And let's see, we've got... The weird one is the Tom Barrett one, District 7. That's our area.
But
interesting.
Down... Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just switching over to North Carolina.
I say down here they can't start counting even the early votes until after everything is closed, from my understanding.
What's your district? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
It's interesting looking at the different districts here.
I didn't even, this was my first time I ever went straight Democrat.
Whoo! That must have felt weird. So in our area, if you go straight Dem, and it's interesting because it's not like a... it shouldn't be this way. Like, people today were asking me about it. They're like, you're into the scene. Why is it this way? I'm like, listen, I don't know. But seriously, for everything in my local area, there was probably only 1 or 2 contested races.
I don't think there were any in my area.
So they were all red otherwise.
After my ballot was empty.
Really? So they were all red, and I'm like, okay, so, like, now some of those I cared to vote for, so I wanted to vote for them even though they were unopposed.
Yeah.
So, but it was still
They only
weird.
need one. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna vote for them, but that meant I couldn't do straight ticket,
Yeah, because it was going to be. I was talking with Gina about it today. It's going to be interesting as well on both sides. How many people skipped the top row because they were upset about both candidates, but then went either straight ticket or whatever for the rest. because I know they go back and look at a lot of that stuff. So it'll be interesting
They do.
to see. Even like I was watching on this, I forget, I think I'm on ABC. Yeah, I'm on ABC. But they were talking about, when Trump was unopposed in the primary, like there were states where like 300,000 people voted against him, and there wasn't really anyone running at that time.
Yeah.
So what are those people going to stay at home? Are they coming out not voting top of the ticket? Are they switching? Because where you're at, you have to be registered to vote in the primary, and you can only vote for your party that you're registered.
You're not registered, but you have to choose one.
Okay.
So you don't have to be registered, but when you go to vote, you have to choose whether you're voting for the Republican one or the Democrat one, which is why, like for my race, there were so many spoiled ballots because people would vote on both sides, and you could only vote on one or your ballot was pitched.
Mm-hmm. Which ended up working out well for you.
Yeah, I mean, I did not. That did not bother me. So, man, North Carolina, though, you guys have a lot of votes now going for Trumpy Trump. 20% of the votes counted.
Mm-hmm.
But again, which cities is it? If you go to your...
There's a lot of rural areas around here.
Well, and the big thing is if you go to your house, you can see which ones have been voting and which ones have been counted and which ones haven't. But if I don't know your districts, I can't tell which ones it is.
Okay, none of these. Oh, 0%. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I'll probably stay up later than I should tonight, just kind of watching everything. And 22 minutes ago, why AP called Florida already?
I told you they called Florida right away.
I remember them calling Florida, but there's like a little article of why.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
when the AP called the race, Trump led Harris by 11 percentage points, with about 80% of the expected vote reported. He did better than he did 4 years ago, including in Miami-Dade, home to Miami, where he was winning the county by 55%. Congratulations. He won 40% there in 2020.
40% in 2020? Wow.
He won 46% of Miami-Dade in 2020. And he won total Florida by 3%. So because Miami-Dade was going so high for him,
they said it's got to be that.
That's why they did it.
Okay, I think you are in District 6. Charlotte is District 12, I think. So you are District 6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so your District 12, which is Charlotte, has 5% of the votes counted. There might be a few people who live in that area.
A few people. I think it's 11 million of people who live there. Okay. So
they've counted 17,000 so far.
Yeah.
Your district, they have 8% of the votes counted, which is 32,000. Yeah. Almost 33. So they've counted 33,000 in your District 6, which is basically Davison, kind of touches Greensboro and Winston-Salem.
Okay, in that area.
Yeah, all the way down to, Concord, right? That whole. Okay. It's a weird district, right? Because they gerrymander it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's all gerrymandered here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So it looks kind of funny. But so anyway, your place is like, what's your biggest place in the state?
I think Raleigh is bigger than Charlotte.
Raleigh is bigger than Charlotte?
No. Charlotte is bigger. Charlotte's like the 11th largest city in the country.
Oh, really? Well, Raleigh is your...
by populace.
Raleigh
capital.
is your number 2 district. I'm trying to find it. And they have 6% of the votes. And they're going Dem. So all the big ones are like your District 8 has a lot counted. And your, a few of those ones. District 10 has a lot counted. District 11. Yeah. And so, like, 11 is Asheville.
Okay.
Right? 10 is west of you. Like, so basically all the ones that are red are the ones that are counting. So yours could flippity flip again.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting even with like the people who are hit by the hurricane, those polls have been open 24/7 for people. So like anytime you can get there, it's open.
Wow.
You know, not tons of people, but you know, if you're dealing with that other stuff, you never know when you're going to get out there and do whatever. So,
oh, yeah, right. For sure. You won't know. Ooh, Maine just got 0% of its votes counted, but it started to turn colors.
yeah. Oh, I just saw that. So I had an interesting talk with my son.
Yeah.
He is young, and grew up in small town America.
Mm-hmm.
He's very Trump. He's super excited about Trump, and you know, I'm for free thinking. And his biggest thing is that it was all about immigration for him. He didn't care about anything else. Like immigration was his biggest thing.
Sure.
And he's like Harris hasn't done a good job on the wall, and he's like, I don't want a bunch of people coming in and being able to vote and this and that. And some of his facts I disagreed with. I was like, well, you know, you might want to look into that a little bit, like not just watch Fox News to get your information. But what was awesome, it was that, you know, being 20 years old, this is the first time that he could vote in a presidential election, and he went and voted, and he was very excited about it. So, you know, props to him. And
yeah, that's always good to get out there and vote.
Yep.
And we definitely have one issue voters out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So immigration is his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sad that he didn't look at the map. Like, not the map, but the graph of immigration, and saw that under Harris, it's actually been less, and the number of arrests have been more. But
nope. There was the thing, and I saw the commercial or the Facebook thing or whatever. It's like she let in billions of people, and they're all allowed to vote.
must be true.
It was one, and I can't remember. I think it was either the Trump or the Vance, because I did watch the JD Vance Joe Rogan as well.
Yeah,
it was one of those where they were spouting that, and I was just like, how could you say this? Like, knowing, like, the words that they're using are so misleading. And it made me think of you, too, how people spin things for their own way. And it's like, it's totally not true, but it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I remember Miles was pissed at me when I voted for George W. He was mad at me for a while. But that's where I was. I was told, if you're going to be a businessman, you're a Republican, because they let you keep all your money and this and that, and
they steal just as much as anybody else.
both sides steal. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
When I was in San Francisco, and I was there when the Supreme Court passed that gays were allowed to marry. And it was during Pride Week, so it was a really cool time to be in San Francisco, I think. Mm-hmm. And I saw, like, people were really upset, and especially, like, Republican people were really upset that these people were going to be getting the same rights as everybody else. Like, it's just as far as marriage is concerned. But, like, that's when I, like, was a big change for me. Like, okay, like, I am basically a one reason voter. Like, I think that everyone should have the same rights. So the party that goes that way tends to be the Democrats, and I don't necessarily agree with everything they say or do or whatever. Mm-hmm. But, you know, that's what it comes down to. Like, yes, like, we're all Americans, we're all human beings, we're all brothers and sisters, and we all get the same rights. If someone wants to get married and screw their life up, why should we say they can't do it?
Like, if you're going to make that bad choice,
if you're going to do that,
right? Yeah, our
in your business, then go ahead.
Our priest this last weekend, it was super amusing to me. But the gathering song was like "All Are Welcome," right? Mm-hmm. And so, like, it gets done, and he's like, do you ever listen to the words? he goes, that song has like such a treasure trove of scripture about how everybody is welcome and what the Bible tells us about everybody being welcome. And then we get on to like his homily, and he's like, I think this is a good time to point out that you can't be, and it's funny because I've told people this so much in my own family, and they'll get grumpy with me. But he goes, it's important for you to remember that there are no immigrants to the Catholic Church. He goes, we're Catholics, period. Mm-hmm. There is no U.S. to the Catholics. Mm-hmm. There is no Italy to, like, we're Catholics. And the biggest increase in Catholics right now in America is Hispanics and Latinos and Filipinos and all these things. He goes, and we don't care because we're Catholics. He goes, so you can't be anti-immigration and be like, he's like, those don't mesh. We believe everybody is welcome all the time. Like, he goes, you need to like think about that kind of stuff, which, don't get me wrong, most Catholics are red. They used to all be blue, right? Catholics are what got John F. Kennedy elected. So Catholics used to be blue. Abortion turned Catholics red. And which is why the Republicans are red. Like, they'll tell you it's because of whatever. No, it's a pure power grab. They always hated Catholics before. The priest talked about how his grandfather used to have crosses burned in his yard by the KKK because the KKK was against Catholics, not just black people. So, you know, he talked about that. And so the Republicans used to be anti-Catholics. But then they found what a huge voting block if we go anti-abortion.
Yeah.
And they do. But so they don't mind if you vote that way. But they're like, sure as heck don't be voting on immigration. And my family and I, like, they'll be like, oh, these immigrants. I'm like, are you effing kidding me? I'm like, her husband, like, runs the radish farm with all sorts of migrant workers. What are you talking about?
That's hilarious. Or like there's the my friend Evie was telling the story, like a lady came in to the country illegally. Her daughter was very young, illegally. They ended up going through everything. Now they're legal. They can vote and all that stuff. Yeah. And she's all for Trump because she doesn't want all the immigrants coming in. He's like, that's typical boomer behavior. Pull the ladder up behind you. Like, what was good for me isn't good for you. Like, he was just laughing about it. He's like, the daughter is like, what are you talking about? Like, we're immigrants.
We're immigrants.
It was the places are clearing their prisons and sending their prisoners here. That was the thing that I was hearing, and it's just like, that was the storyline. Again,
and that's something that is against what we preach. We believe you pick up everybody, right? We don't believe that we get ahead by pushing everybody else down. We believe we get ahead by pulling all the rest of you up and then standing on you. Right? Like, I'm going to go a lot higher if I stack your bodies up than if I push you guys all down the mountain. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Right? And maybe that's the wrong way to think about it, but you know, that's like a thing. So, yeah, that's funny. People are a little weird. Ooh, Michigan's at 8%.
Ooh.
Ohio's at 45%. Trump has 100,000+ vote lead. I wonder what areas haven't been done there.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania only has 13%. They're missing some.
Yeah, she's clobbering them there.
Yeah, clobbering, right?
So the Michigan three others, RFK Jr.'s on there, right? He's one of the three others.
Oh my gosh, there's so many on there. What does it show here?
Oh, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, it says 5, Kennedy. It says Kennedy right there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It says Stein, Kennedy, Oliver, and three others in Michigan.
Yeah. We let everybody on the ballot in Michigan. We don't know what you're all bitching about. And then when he's like, no, you've got to take me off. We're like, we're not taking anybody else off. Why would we take
Yeah.
you off? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candidates on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
All the rest of you only having 2.
So I mean, don't get me wrong. I like some of the things that RFK is saying about, I'm going to make it so these companies can't put this crap in our food. Like in the United States, we have so many chemicals that are allowed,
Yeah.
and countries all over the world they're not allowed. And a lot of people here in the United States get sick over things, or if they go away, they like different like their body heals from eating more pure food and stuff like that. Especially, in our house, we deal with some sickness. So we're really working
Right.
on that with food. The things that we can do ourselves, but that's something, that's something he's definitely, the Democrats kind of pushed him away, and he, he's got some other things that he talks about and stuff, but when RFK is talking about stuff like that, like I'm all for that. Like, yeah,
My problem is that, and Jason and I've kind of talked about this a little bit. Well, he talked about it. I think he's still kind of full of crap. But, like, because of RFK getting in the race to screw the Dems, I feel like all of his issues are just to pull middle Dem voters away.
But they were actually pulling Trump voters.
Right, but I think when he's saying that, like a Dem voter would agree with that and be like, yeah, we agree with that. We're going to go there. But I don't know if he's really for that or if he's just saying that, trying, like, he made distrust. And so now I don't trust anything he's saying.
Okay, I see what you're
You know
saying.
what I mean? Like, I'm like, okay, is this part of your game or is this actually how you feel? Like, I
Yeah.
can't tell what's part of the game and what's not part of the game.
Yeah. In some of his interviews and stuff, it seems like he's super excited about, like, it's important to him. But
Yes, yeah.
You never know. You never know
No, right?
what people's true intentions.
Like Amy says, like when she would go and watch me talk to people, she was like, you can talk the crazy. Like, she goes, I hear what they're saying, and you're like, you don't like necessarily like rah it, but you're so good about, like, they all think you're right with them. And I'm like, well, because that's politics. Like, I'm not going to say you're a dumbass. I go, that's not going to get me the vote.
Yeah.
Right? I go, I still think they're crazy, but that's not how it works.
So I have a question for you on this AP page.
Yeah.
Do you notice it's already separated by states? Are these like the states they think that they're going to get? And like the middle, like in
the
the middle
middle is
like
in
underneath
alphabetical
the-
order. The gray is in alphabetical.
Okay. Thank you for that. I'm like, that seems weird. It's like already mapped out.
No. It's just alphabetical. And then when they go, when they call it, they throw them to the other person again in alphabetical, right? So it looks like they called Illinois for her. So, that got put in alphabetical
Okay.
order with that. So-
Okay, and then it's backwards alphabetical for Don. Alabama's on the end.
Right.
Okay.
Arkansas went to him.
Oh, Arkansas. Oh my gosh.
Who would have thought?
Let's see. Only 17% of the votes. There's still a lot of voting.
There is still a lot
Kennedy
of voting.
is almost at 1% of the votes.
Kennedy is?
Mm-hmm.
In which
In
one?
Arkansas. In Arkansas.
Arkansas. You're right. It's very low voting. Kennedy is like smashing it there. They didn't
Okay,
care.
yeah. They're showing a map of Charlotte on my TV right now. Yeah, we're right above. We might be right at Charlotte because how it's drawn and stuff. It's funky.
It is funky.
But I think we're either in the Charlotte one or just above that one.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at another map. So, yeah, right in that area. You're right.
And they haven't quite done all those yet. The problem is
They're like-
your huge areas, your huge population areas are traditionally the last ones to get counted because there's so many to count, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's really easy. Like, if we're looking at like your districts, right? Like those ones that have 42%, they're at a 200,000. They're not even to 200,000 votes yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, no shit, you're almost done. You only had 200,000. Whereas if you look at like the, let's see, what did I say was Charlotte, like 13 or something, 12, like that's not even in the realm of where it would be. Look, this one's
Yeah.
71%,
Makers.
but it's at 300,000. Like, yeah, it's way easier to count a couple 100,000
Yeah.
than it is to go to one of these where it has 1 million people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do we say? Charlotte was 12, and so Charlotte's 12 has 5% counted, right? Because Charlotte's huge.
Okay. So yeah, it's still zero. I found the spot where I could click house
Yeah,
and it popped up, but yeah, it's still 0% for the District 4 in Michigan.
yep, still 0%. Checked it again, but yeah, they definitely called it for your governor.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Super exciting. Boop. Ooh, they must have called another one. Oh, they called New York. 0% of the vote. And they're like, yep, that goes there. They're trying to make sure that we stay vested, right?
Yeah.
They want us to stay interested.
Trump was getting a little too far ahead. Like, okay, we need to call New York.
Yeah,
Oh, they called Wyoming already. They called
Wyoming.
and
Wyoming's polls literally just closed, right? It's 9:01. So
Wyoming was one that was really up in the air. Like, I want to say
it's got 0% counted. They gave it to them. They're like, "Yep, yours."
Yeah.
South Dakota, they're like, "Yep, yours."
We counted all 5 people who go here.
So
And
here's the
actually
best. Look at Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
They've called Nebraska for Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go, like, hover over the 2 that they've called for Trump in Nebraska.
See? Something seems wrong there.
So if you are with us, people, I don't know how they call these, but the 2 that they've called in Nebraska are both losing to Harris, but they've called him for Trump.
Yeah, Trump is red at 42%.
He's red at 42. Yeah. That's a little weird. A little weird that he would get it called. Oh, Iowa just came on and they're like, they must have counted a red area.
Mm-hmm.
Missouri? No way, Missouri. Man. Ooh, Michigan is getting closer. 9% counted. Man, NC. I really hope your NC people like come in strong here at the end. That'd be terrific.
Yeah. I mean, look, Virginia's running super close.
Oh yeah. Virginia is close. Look at that. With only 48%. Man, that's a tight race. Was it a swing? I can't remember who all were swing states.
Yeah, I don't remember. So some of them, okay, so Nebraska must be the only one. I was going to say some of them show the whole state and some of them are actually showing each one. So I wonder why Nebraska's like that, where it's just
some
showing
states,
districts there.
Some states, they have it broke down to where like you can get parts of their electoral college, right? So Michigan and North Carolina are all or nothing states. So
okay.
Even if you won Michigan, 50.1%, you get all of our 15 votes.
Yes.
And same thing in North Carolina. But in Nebraska, they're a little bit more fair, right?
Okay. Looks like Maine's like that too.
Yeah, Maine has a similar thing.
But it seems weird that there's 5 little boxes and Nebraska only has 3. Oh, maybe 2. Okay. 1-1.
each of their districts or something.
Yeah, but total, I thought Nebraska has 3 electoral votes, and there's 5 little boxes.
Yeah, I don't know. 2 of those have the same number. They must go to the same thing.
Yeah.
And 2 of the blues have the same numbers. They must go. Oh, wait, no, they have different numbers. Huh. Yeah, no idea on that, huh?
Yep.
Uh-oh. Hunziga, they've got 1% of the votes in, and Schwartz is losing right now.
Uh-oh.
Come on, Schwartz.
Come on, Schwartz.
It's only 1%. You still got 99% to count.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully what they've counted is not your area. Right? Oh, man, they've got some, like, election results. Some of my local ones are up.
Oh, that's cool.
Let me see. I'm going to my county and seeing what it says there. See if it says anything to me. Or maybe it doesn't. They use the AP stuff right away, which is kind of dumb. That's not what I care about. People. Yep. This is our longest episode forever. Should we keep this episode or pitch this?
I was saying we should keep it, but I know Banks needs to go out, so maybe we should stop if we want to start.
No, I just meant, do we keep it as a long episode or not?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, why don't we take a break, people, and we'll see if Kilton and I get back on for more good streaming goodness. We appreciate you being with us. As always, we love you all, and we hope you're having a good time. And thanks for being with us for this election coverage.
So yeah, glad we could add some other stuff besides just the election. Make it a great episode.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Make our episodes great again.
Burnt toast, baby. Make it great. Make it great. All right.
Yes.
Peace out.